Hey there, it's Antho, Mr. Hyperlocal with Hamlet, your real estate resource. So pleased to be with you in this video where we're going to discuss the geography of Laguna Niguel. Because the more you know about someone or someplace, the more you can love them. So let's get into it. This here is the Los Angeles Basin, the major population center in Southern California. And we see way down here, that's Laguna Niguel on the fringes. We zoom in a bit, we'll start to see these are the Santa Ana Mountains, and this whole space right here, these are the foothills for the Santa Ana Mountains, everything off in this direction. And over here, these are the San Joaquin Hills, and Laguna Niguel lies entirely within the San Joaquin Hills. This narrow space in between the two, well, that's the Saddleback Valley, which we'll see why it's called that in a moment. And we see the 5 freeway cuts through this low point as it goes on its way down to San Diego. All right, so because so much is happening up in the north, we oftentimes are entering Laguna Niguel from the north. So let's take a look at this northern boundary. This is a terrific angle on the city. So this is the borderline here, Pacific Park. And then it will run into the 73 toll road, which becomes the next part of the northern border as it goes this direction. From this angle, we can see, and here's another border here, Alicia Parkway. We see that there's a high point over here. Okay, it's very hilly, the entire region. It is the San Joaquin Hills. And there's more high points over on this eastern ridge as well. So let's travel over there to the eastern part. So that boundary line is coming all the way on the 73, and then right here it actually jets up, and it includes this area right here. So there's a little strip of kind of commercial industrial space as part of Laguna Niguel. Then the border on the east side is the 5 freeway. As we come down to here, it comes around the Mercedes-Benz dealership and jumps up to this ridge line here. So look at this beautiful ridge line. Now here is Golden Lantern going across, and this is the boundary. Everything at the top here is going to be Laguna Niguel, and everything on the downhill slope is San Juan Capistrano. Now if you were to be up in here, you see there's lots of nice little hiking trails and such in this area, so beautiful spot to either live or visit. Now if you were up on this space and you turned and you looked out, okay, it is a beautiful view here, and we see clearly there's the freeway, and this is why it's called the Saddleback Valley. Can't we see clearly it's a little valley here? And then in the distance, there's Saddleback Mountain. So we call it Saddleback Mountain because it's got those 2 humps on it. Kind of looks like a horse's saddle, doesn't it? So this is the eastern boundary. Lots of beautiful homes up in this area. And the boundary keeps coming around on this ridgeline. Comes around to over here. And actually right here, it'll jump down and include this little section as well. And then the boundary is to the south here. It's this road, Camino del Avion. So everything over in this area where the cursor is now, this is Dana Point. Everything here at the bottom, that's San Juan Capistrano. And then we'll turn and we'll face and we'll see everything over here. This is Laguna Niguel. So we'll follow that boundary line. This is the southern border all the way here. Now when it crosses Crown Valley, Camino del Avion becomes Pacific Island Drive. And it will come up to right here. And then it jumps up the hill here. And we can see the borderline very clearly, actually, in this neighborhood. These 2 homes are Dana Point, and these 2 homes are Laguna Niguel. And there's just a little emergency access gate connecting the 2 neighborhoods. So this is a beautiful part of the city. It is high up here on the ridge line. People refer to it either as top of Pack Island Drive or Monarch Summit. Although some of the neighborhoods in here are specifically called Monarch Summit and others are not, so it could be a bit confusing to call it that. But this is a wonderful, wonderful spot with lots of also great hiking trails and such. Now, if you were up here doing a nice hike, you see you're going to get an awesome view of Laguna Beach down here in the ocean. Super cool spot, especially for a sunset. So then the western boundary of the city is this ridgeline up at the top here, and everything below here, this is Aliso Canyon, which is county land, belongs to the County of Orange. And we come across all the way to here. Then the border becomes Alicia. And if we come to this spot right here, and we turn and face, we see we're right back where we started. We have a great view on all of Laguna Niguel. So a couple of important waterways to discuss real quick. So this one is not actually in the city of Laguna Niguel, but it does form the border. This is Aliso Creek here. And if we turn around, we can actually see, pretty interesting, we'll see Aliso Creek, follow the mouse cursor, as it travels up through southern Orange County. Okay, and over here, it's going to cross over to El Toro, goes all the way up, and you see it drains the Santa Ana Mountains here. So pretty important waterway with a lot of water flowing through there historically. And if we turn around and we come back to where we were, we see Aliso Creek coming through here, and then it becomes, look at this Aliso Canyon. It has carved this entire amount of hills out of the San Joaquin Hills, and then it empties at the ocean here at Aliso Beach. Pretty amazing. Another important creek for the region is right over, right here. So this is Crown Valley, and just past Greenfield, right here starts Sulphur Creek. So Sulphur Creek is this green belt, it travels all the way down, wraps around, where then it enters into this spot right here, which is the Sulphur Creek Reservoir. And this whole area is the Laguna Niguel Regional Park, which is an awesome place to visit. Then the reservoir drains out as Sulphur Creek, goes underneath Alicia, and then it connects up to Aliso Creek here, where it goes and it drains to the ocean as well. And one more very important creek here that we should take a look at is Salt Creek. So this is where Salt Creek originates. Here is Golden Lantern with the fire station and the dog park there. And so Salt Creek we see is carved out this little mini canyon, and it cuts down through here. Once it comes to this point, it crosses under Camino del Avion, where it goes into the city of Dana Point, through the golf course, and then it will exit right here at Salt Creek Beach. And of course, having a creek there is the reason we have Salt Creek and Strands Beach. So much sediment has traveled through there over time, and then it lands and it collects up here on the shore. So that's why we get our sandy beach. And there we have it, the city of Laguna Niguel, a city bordered by two prominent ridge lines. Here in the west, the highest points in the city, with magnificent views of the Pacific Ocean. And over here on the east, also a very high point by Golden Lantern that looks out over the Saddleback Valley and the Santa Ana Mountains. And in between, still a very hilly region with lots of nooks and crannies and awesome views, and a number of important creeks which have shaped this region both geologically and culturally. So that's about it for this video. I hope that it has brought you into an even deeper love with this region and this city. And I'd love to hear from you. My contact information is at the end of this video and in the description. My name's Antho, Mr. Hyperlocal with Hamlet, your real estate resource. It's been a pleasure exploring this knowledge with you, and I look forward to seeing you again in a future video. You take care.